what were the key moments that led to your exponential growth to the very top?
Said that I want to do the new and the next.
You must be having a lot of young professionals working for you.
Yes.
And for that generation, it's always like, what next?
Yeah.
What does it take for you to lead a bunch of young, energetic marketers?
Young people today are restless. Their focus is not anymore the focus of the generation that I belong to. And therefore, I feed them with curiosity. I feed them with challenges. I feed them with opportunities.
If you were to give one advice to aspiring marketers out there, what would that be? If you were to talk to a 20-year-old Sahil who's dealing with a personal loss, trying to build his career, what would your message be to him? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another episode of the Sunny Shah Show. Today, we have a new age marketer with us. Somebody who defines loyalty. Somebody who is extremely witty when it comes to marketing strategies. And it is my honor to welcome Sahil Shah on the show. Sahil, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Such a pleasure to be here.
Pleasure is all mine. Thank you for taking time out for us today.
Absolutely.
Sahil, let's get straight into the point, right? I've been reading a lot about you, and what I understand from my team and through our research, you spent 17 years in a single organization. Now, in today's time, that's really rare. And I wanted to touch base the loyalty side of things. I want to touch base what led you to decide to continue with the same organization for almost 2 decades.
I think if I was to summarize what made me stay in the organization, the word is growth. Since the day I started with the organization, I have actually grown beyond measures, and it's been a journey, right? Fundamentally, लोग क्यों change करते हैं? Why do they change jobs? The answer is that, listen, I want growth in role, growth in money, growth overall. And to me, it's not something that I planned for, but it did keep on happening. So growth for us was overall as an organization key. And I was a part of that organization, and it kept on growing. So when I joined the organization, we were literally 3 people, and now we have 450 odd people, right? And it's not honestly about just number of people, but it's about how much we've grown in size of business as human beings, and innately, in the end, everybody wants growth in life, right? So that is, I think, my one word answer. Of course, I'm happy to demystify it further. So yeah.
So your company, Dance2 Creative Isobar. I mean, when you look back to those 17 years, you feel privileged and you feel humble because you're the CEO now. You climbed all the way to the top.
Yeah.
But when you are going through that journey, sometimes loyalty can be a risky affair, especially in a fast-moving world like ours. What's your perspective? What is it that kept you going?
I cannot agree more with you. Loyalty is a two-way street. And to be honest, I've had my fair share of doubts. And I've also paid a little sometimes for my loyalty. So it's not hunky-dory at the end of the day.
Right.
But if you look at it holistically, then I think loyalty is, in today's day and age, rare and getting rarer. And if I look at holistically, then I think it's paid off. It's paid off with the kind of, role I have, with the kind of things I'm doing. And particularly when I see, people joining my organization, my company, or anybody in any sort of organization, I think there is a certain sense that, yaar, ये बंदा कर सकता है, तो मैं भी कर सकता हूँ. And that just makes me so happy. that somebody is using me as a blueprint, and if loyalty is the price I pay, so be it. But to be honest, I have not paid a huge price for loyalty. In fact, it's only added into me, and I'm very happy about it.
In this entire journey, what were the key moments that led to your exponential growth to the very top?
Great question. So I think one of the things that I kept on sort of thinking about is yes, why didn't I move? Why didn't I move to a different company with maybe a relatively bigger package, role, all of that? And we all get offers, right? To me, the company itself was a different company every 2-3 years.
Okay.
By that, what I mean is that, and in today's day and age also, I talk about myself saying I'm totally for new age creativity, new age marketing, right? The day I started was also the same day where I said that I want to do the new and the next. And when I was centered around कि मुझे नया ही करना है और मुझे नई चीजें करनी है, I kept on reinventing the company as well as myself, which led to growth, which led to a lot of other things, right? So I think over the last 17 odd years, there has not been one moment, but it's been different, every 3 years, I've seen a new me and a new organization and a new avatar. And it's as close to as me switching a job and reinventing myself, right? So might as well do it where I am and how I can scale. So yeah, I think I've seen a new me every 3 years, a new setup every 3 years, and that's how we've grown.
For our audience's interest, can you tell us a little bit more about what your company does?
So basically, we drive marketing and technology-led solutions for brands, B2C as well as B2B. These marketing or technology-led solutions could be communication-led, meaning comms as in advertising and ads-led, could be experience-led, which could be a product that we create for them digitally and so on and so forth. And the experience could also be offline.
Right.
So it could be an offline interaction with a brand through a setup in a mall or an engagement through an event. And it could be also an engagement through a delivery package that I deliver to you at your doorstep.
Right.
The fact of the matter is that in today's day and age, most marketeers, most brand owners are looking at real and palatable ways of reaching their customers. Gone are the days where, बस मैं करोड़ों रुपए एक TV ad पे लगा दूंगा and that's it. My job is done. No, right? And therefore, there is a clear sort of need to be able to give solutions to clients for the customers in the way consumption or experiences are happening. That is what I think we bridge. And we work with some of the largest organizations in this country, some of the largest brands in this country. And I'm very fortunate to be able to lead such an amazing team.
You hail from a tier 2 city in Gujarat, Surat.
Yes. Proud of it. Very proud of it.
Proud Surti, yeah? And coming to this time of leading an organization with a 400 plus team as a head of the business, any values that you brought in that were rooted from your early days that's helping you shape up your leadership in today's time?
I think my simplicity is my value. And that's been from day one me. Like, I'm a very simple human being. Simple in terms of needs and wants, and also simple in terms of how I approach life. So if you sit with me over a conversation, I will be direct, honest, very upfront, very simple, and very accessible. And that's how I've lived throughout. And it's me personally, it's me professionally. There is nothing to hide. There is nothing to, strategize. So I think that's one core sort of value, which I think I've taken, that is me.
Yeah.
Besides that, I was completely an opposite person growing up. So I was a very shy boy. I didn't have too many friends or adventures. I don't have too many, when I was a kid, I did these stories. And I was not the leader kind. So to be honest, growing up, I was very much the part of the herd. But that was me back then, and this is me now.
Were there any early challenges that tested you during these times?
While I was growing up?
Yeah.
So while I was growing up, I had a very simple upbringing. We did sort of live in a very modest sort of household. And I, of course, didn't have too many opportunities, right? In a city which was 20 years, 25 years ago, it was a smallish sort of setup, right? And therefore, my worldview was very limited. And I mean, we are not born in the era of internet, and therefore, we don't have access to so much. Nowadays, a person sitting in, whichever part of the country or the world has access to so much. We didn't, right? So I think my initial years of exposure was very limited. But as and when sort of life happened, I think a lot of perspectives sort of came in. I learned through experiences. I learned through friendships. I learned through hardships. And that's what made me a person that I am today. So yeah, early on, I feel that I was in a close sort of world.
You must be having a lot of young professionals working for you.
Yes.
And for that generation, it's always like, what next?
Yeah.
What does it take for you to lead a bunch of young, energetic marketers?
Firstly, I like to believe that I'm also extremely young and energetic. I think young people today are restless. Their focus is not anymore the focus of the generation that I belong to. And therefore, I feed them. I feed them with curiosity. I feed them with challenges. I feed them with opportunities. Because आज की दुनिया में ना, अगर young हो के old हो, especially young, if you're constantly feeding their mind to ultimately make them a better professional or at large a better human being, nobody will want to sort of leave you. So I mean, I'm famously sort of quoted inside office by so many people that, salary is not the only reason why a person stays. I think if that was the case, I wouldn't be 17 years in the same organization, right? I think it's the platform. I think it's the growth of a human being linked to the growth of a company. And I think it's the overall, motivation, the overall curiosity. So with young people, I think that works. Also, if you happen to come to my office, hopefully soon, my cabin is a full see-through glass cabin. So in the whole my whole cabin, anybody at any point in time can see what I'm doing, how I'm feeling. Am I stressed? Am I excited? And it's an open door policy. Like anybody can walk in at any time and have a word with me. So I'm very, very accessible. So, and because I was back in the days an executive, a social media executive when I started my career, I know what it feels like to be there. And I would have loved it. And actually, when I was an executive, I was heard by my seniors. So I want to do the same with the large part of the organization. So I think young people, you just need to feed them with the right things, and I'm sure they'll create magic.
Great. I want to touch base on a very personal yet unfortunate episode of your life. Losing a parent is one of the most painful things that life does to anyone. And I've been through the same experience recently. But talking about you, Lulu, you lost your father at an early age of 20.
Yeah.
One of the most formative times
Yeah.
where you'll be building your career,
Yeah.
striving to build your career. How did you cope up with that loss at such an early age and still continued marching ahead to become a successful professional that you are today?
To be honest, I didn't. I was 20, just starting my career. And to lose a father or a father figure at such a formative sort of time, especially when I'm left with my younger brother and all the responsibilities on me, and to wind up all of his business, was a challenging, very, very challenging time for me because, funnily enough, my entire sort of family background is into diamonds. No surprise there. I think I entered the workforce a little early. So my father did tell me that, listen, for a few years you explore, you figure out what, and he was very supportive. So he said, you explore, you try out different things. If you find something, go get it. If you don't, then there is that backup of what the setup is. And I was playing by the book and I was saying, okay, let's do that. But life gives you surprises sometimes that you don't sort of seek, right? And that happened to me, and it was a very, very difficult time. Like I said, I haven't fully, nobody should cope up from the loss of a personal one, especially a father figure. So yeah, maybe work was some form of deflection, saying I'll focus on work.
Or like a healing for you?
No. Work didn't heal me. Work just made my mind more occupied. So that's why I'm saying that I don't think I've maybe it's been a long time now. But I don't think anything can heal that.
How would you, through your experience as a young person getting into this traumatic part of life, if you were to see somebody silently going through the anxiety and pain of losing someone, what would your advice be to him or her?
So this happened to me recently. I, of course, will not name the person, but she came. So she was a part of the organization. She was hired. She was one of the youngest, smartest people in my company. And I think about 6 months back, she came to me and she said, I'm quitting, and I've let my boss know all of that. And I generally am accessible, and people do talk to me if they're moving out or if they're excited about something, or if it's their father's birthday tomorrow or whatever. So she came to me and she spoke to me, and I said, what happened? Why are you quitting? Because I've got you the platform, I've got you everything that I feel that is needed to be able to make you a better professional. And she said that, listen, I'm struggling. So I said, what are you struggling with? So she said, I'm struggling with anxiety and panic attacks. And when I heard that, I said, yes, it's a lot personal for you, of course. But if you would like to talk to me and share with me whenever, then please do. And she wasn't opening up. And then suddenly, I don't know why, but I opened up to her. And I told her about my loss, and around that time, how much I dealt with it. And this was my father. I lost him about 17, 18, 19 years ago. At that point in time, there was no access to, more healthcare professionals or even the internet, I was dealing with it all by myself. So my advice, first, of course, I tried and made sure that she understands that I understand what she's going through.
Yeah.
And then second, I did give her advice, and I think the one thing that मैं सबको बोलता हूँ, and it need not be as bad as somebody's depression, hopefully not, but even if it's high order depression, or if it's something that you're dealing with and you don't even know, you should speak up. You should speak out. You should, in fact, I would say, आप जिम जाते हो ना, physical gym तो रोज सब करते ही है, some form of exercise some people do or people are supposed to do. तो physical exercise होती है, but क्या mental exercise होती है? There should be compulsory mental exercises for individuals in this country. I know it's not a taboo anymore. I know there have been a lot of content and a lot of information already there. But I think are people actively saying that regardless of me having a mental health issue or not, can I go to a doctor or a professional once every month to exercise? I think it's so untapped, but it needs to be done. Till date, I don't need any professional help, but till date, I do time to time to check in on how my mental state of mind is, and it's nothing to be worry about. It's everything to be worked on. So that's what I think I would say to people at large.
So let's talk business, Sahil. If you look at the way your industry has evolved, right, from TV to print to digital influencers, AI, and God knows what, what's the biggest transformation that you've seen, and how have you adapted to it in this journey?
I think I've been a part of that transformation, and the transformation is technology. Technology over the last 20 odd years has fundamentally changed everything for humanity. And back in the days, TV, the traditional old TV, is now a smart TV. Everything that you spoke of has a layer of underpinning technology. Now, technology, you could call it AI, you could call it augmented reality, you could call it machine learning, you could call it basic code. But fundamentally, technology is what has driven, I think, great amount of transformation. I also feel that in the time to come, what has happened in 20 years will happen in 10 or maybe 5. And, the window of transformation will just keep on reducing. I don't know where it will take humanity to, frankly, because it could have its merits and demerits. But yes, the pace at which it will go, and it's going already,
right,
is never heard of. I mean, would you have imagined at a click of a tap of a button on your phone, in 10 minutes, a TV is delivered or a phone is delivered at your doorstep? I mean, it's insane, but it's happening. And so you don't know where it's going, but it's going for sure somewhere.
Interesting. New age marketing. mixes data, it mixes a lot of speed, agility, storytelling.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you personally and professionally?
I think it's always, new age marketing is always centered around the core of a customer. Meaning, if the customer experience or the customer behavior is what you follow, then you are new age. Simple as that. So today it's, let's say, data, technology, AI, all of that. Tomorrow it'll be something else.
Right.
But to me, personally as well as professionally, staying in line with trends and trends that are not fads. So there is a difference between a trend that possibly a big consulting company would speak about and a fad that, could be around on social media. I'm talking about a trend that is moving somewhere. And if you are able to pick on that trend early on, then you will definitely be new age.
Sahil, a lot of customers that you service today, brands today need to be authentic, yet performance driven. How do you strike the balance?
I think innately, what matters to customers is that the brand story or an experience is authentic. Innately. Because in today's day and age, customers see through. If you are being fake, if you are hiding something, if there is some scandal or the other that is going on, everybody sees through. And therefore, to me, authenticity brings in the performance and not the other way. So if you are authentic, you have a great product, you have a great sort of price point, then it will automatically be a selling proposition. And the job of a setup like ours is to make sure the selling proposition is compelling enough and the experience is compelling enough for a prospect, and which is what we help a lot of clients with. And it's not just, B2C, because every time an ad agency is spoken about, it is B2C, it is always the Coca-Colas of the world. No, there is a lot of, work that is happening in the B2B space as well. And again, in the B2B space also, the question always is performance, right? How many businesses did we close or how many leads we created, all of that. But fundamentally, all of that comes from, authenticity, authentic conversations and a real point of view. And that's what, I am, and that's what I exhibit, and that's what I look for in people, authenticity.
Gen Z is changing the game.
Right? Yeah.
Fast, bold, and authentic.
Yeah.
How do you deal with this audience?
So I think I'll be very honest. None of the marketing community in India right now is fully equipped. Even if they claim so, I don't think they're fully equipped to deal with Gen Z. Two reasons. One is that the Gen Z population is still not the sole earning member or the highest earning member in a family. Still, it's the millennial. And therefore, the wallet share is still with the millennial audiences. And therefore, marketers generally would focus on a higher age group, because that's where, India consumption happens. That's one reason. And second is, every marketer, he or she feels that they know Gen Z very well through reading some reports or through conversing with their children's friends, and so on and so forth. But I think it's a lot more than that. And I'll give you an example. So I was talking to the Snapchat CMO, and Snapchat is a social media platform, but it's a very anti-social media platform. So there was some beautiful insights he was giving me, and he said, Sahil, आपने Facebook छोड़ दिया? तो मैंने बोला हाँ, अभी Facebook पे तो मैं हूँ ही नहीं, मैं सिर्फ YouTube, Instagram कंज्यूम करता हूँ, Facebook नहीं है. क्यों छोड़ा? Then he brought me back to a few years back, saying 5-7 साल पहले ही छोड़ा होगा, अभी तो recent. मतलब हाँ, I left Facebook because my parents or my older generation was on Facebook. So he's like, that is what exactly Gen Z is doing. Gen Z is leaving Instagram and progressing to a platform where there are no, old people, according to Gen Z. And Gen Z also behaves in a different way. So again, out of Snapchat only, he mentioned that most of us are invariably, we get too happy with metrics like likes and views and comments and shares, right? Snapchat is not built like a platform for that. Snapchat is built for interpersonal conversation. They call it streaks. And he said, we have approximately 250 million people using Snapchat, which are Gen Z. 25 crore log जो Snapchat use कर रहे हैं on a daily basis, and they are not interested in flaunting to the world that मैं यहाँ जा रहा हूँ, वहाँ जा रहा हूँ. They are mostly conversing between each other. Now this is something brands don't even know, because they are thinking that Gen Z है, हाँ मैं थोड़ा अच्छा लोगो बना लूंगा, अच्छी थोड़ी लाइनें लिख लूंगा, थोड़ा cool बन जाऊंगा, and I'll appeal to that audience. I think that could be a starting step, but the Gen Z universe is a different generation itself.
Will creativity ever be at the heart of everything that you do? Or do you see this getting more scientific and automated?
So I think since day one, I have been a proponent of logic and magic. One without the other will not work. Logic is getting better and better day on day. It's just beautiful. If you see the recent Google VO3 launch also, the way generative AI is being used to create near realistic भी नहीं. अभी तो आप फर्क ही नहीं पता कर पाओगे कि ये शूट किया है और ये AI ने बनाया है. तो it's getting there, right? But what AI or generative AI as a sub-component to AI is getting to is कि यार वो क्रिएट करके दे देगा, बट जो क्रिएट करना है उसका दिमाग कौन लगाएगा, और एंड दिमाग से ज्यादा उसका दिल कौन लगाएगा. मीनिंग फंडामेंटली स्टोरी टेलिंग इज द गेम, राइट? एंड इन स्टोरी टेलिंग, if you make it fully scientific, then where is that magic? Where is that magic that will move the needle? Then suddenly all ads created by generative AI will look the same.
Yeah.
So what is the point? I think the point is to make sure that there is enough and more logic, data, comprehension, AI, all of that, enough and more. You should equip. Everybody should equip with that. But I think the mojo of magic, it comes from within, it comes from inspiration, it comes on a holiday in mountains, it also comes in a shower, So I think one should, I firmly believe it's a mix of both.
If you were to give one advice to aspiring marketers out there, what would that be?
I think know your customer. The one difference that I have always sort of seen is that people who are sitting inside a conference room and doing desk research and building plans for marketing or sales or experiences are failing. You have to get down. You have to know your customer. You have to know your competition. You have to know how platforms are being consumed. तो एक example लेता हूं मैं. These days, any idea or any creative thought or any plan that I review, and I tell everyone also, review it with a lens. If you were the customer, would you interact with that video? Would you, buy something looking at this? Would your perception towards a brand change? अगर तुम खुद पे ही नहीं कर पा रहे हो, then how do you expect कि सब पे होगा? And customers are smart. We are all very smart, right? We're genuinely the smartest generation right now compared to 1950s and so on and so forth, especially with regards to some amount of narrative, propaganda, agenda, storytelling, सब कुछ मिला के हमको दिख जाता है. We see through it. So then all forms of. So my one single message to marketers is that you should build for the customer in a real way and not in your desk research and in your sort of world. And that goes to agency people as well, because marketers, agencies sort of get together and deliver magic.
If you were to talk to a 20-year-old Sahil who's dealing with a personal loss, trying to build his career, what would your message be to him?
My message to him would be that don't underestimate yourself. Be confident. Yes, there is a big setback, or there could be more setbacks. But if you don't fight it, if you're not confident that you will get through, then you never will. So I think belief is what I would tell him, that believe in magic.
Interesting. Last question. And this is very interesting because you are at the helm of everything that's happening in your industry with marketing. What excites you the most? Where do you see the future of marketing lies 3 to 5 years from now?
I think first I will talk about what doesn't excite me. I think, like I said, buzzwords or trends that are fads, like the metaverse. Mark Zuckerberg made a big announcement that, we are entering the era of metaverse and people will experience it. This kind of conversation we'll have in our whatever. I think that's, a long time away, or I hope it doesn't happen only because interpersonal conversations, we're inherently social beings, right? So we want to be out there. We want to be together a lot more. And I hope that happens. To answer your question on what I'm excited about, I think it's a combination of 2-3 things. One is the creator economy that has boomed already. I'm very excited about the creator economy. I'm also equally sort of invested in generative AI and AI as a technology overall. I think it'll really improve the craft of storytelling. It'll really improve, efficiencies and so on and so forth. And lastly, what I'm very excited to sort of unpeel is, or rather define for this generation of marketers, is what is new age creativity? What defines, or what are the gold standards of new age creative marketing? And that I think I'm very, very excited, most excited about, and a lot of that you will hopefully see in times to come with the work that we do. So yeah.
Well, Sahil, thank you so much for joining me on the show today. I think through your perspective, we were able to get a glimpse of what future beholds for marketing and beyond.
Yes.
Because your industry is industry agnostic. Whether it's healthcare, whether it's retail, whether it's artificial AI, whether it's anything that goes around, marketing will always be needed everywhere.
Absolutely.
So with that being said, I'm very excited to see what future beholds for your industry. And people like you continue to be the creative economy of our country. So continue doing the great job that you've been doing. And may you continue to inspire a lot of young age, new age marketers.
Yes.
Who would look at you as a guru in future. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. It's been a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you so much, Sunny. Pleasure. Pleasure is all mine. Thank you.
So ladies and gentlemen, hope you enjoyed. It was Sahil Shah with us today. Please make sure that you subscribe to our channel so that you are able to have more such meaningful conversations that we can bring to you. Take care. Thank you so much.